trade differently. As of now, it has been the normal way in which any of the institutions do their businesses. They go on, coming up with new products, or they'll do something like that which enhances the customer experience. But AI actually has made the business guys think about what is the new way to do the business. And that is playing a very, very critical role where imagination is now become a very critical competitive advantage, because it is asking, it is asking the industries to leave away whatever so far they have thought and run their business. So AI has created, somebody thought about it. So there was now thinking that went to transformation. We are at a state of transformation. So things are getting transformed, right? But the next stage is going to be the responsible AI. And which is going to matter really big time the way AI actually is going to work. Because as of now, ethics, inclusivity, responsibility is still to an extent not there as part of the AI tool. So the next stage will be that, definitely. But it's going to remain. So that's something which has made a huge difference in our life. So that's my take.
I don't know whether I've been as adventurous, but very close to Shekhar. When I was a kid, two problems were my personal problems. One, I didn't want to die. And second, I didn't want to work because I saw my dad very tired after work. So when I grew up, I found something beautiful, which is incredible business of advertising, which is a commune of people who didn't want to work, but wanted to imagine. And I feel what AI has done is beautiful. It has called out all the mediocre imaginators for some reason, because we should take a long time to figure out that whether this idea is good or bad, whether this entire piece of work which we are putting out is good or bad. But today AI does it faster. We don't have to take that time. So actually our business of imagination has become better. It's actually become faster, better, and more thrilling, I would say.
Can I say something about AI? Since we've already started talking about it. Okay, AI is the most democratic technology ever. Not since the invention of the wheel did we had something like this. But it's a democratic technology because it is going to give the power to the bottom of the pyramid. That's what it's going to do. So, can I tell you a story? Yeah, okay. So, as the CEO walking in, he's going to make a $10 billion fundraise request in the evening. He goes to his office early in the morning. Nobody's going to be in his office. But the cleaning lady was there. And he walked in, and the cleaning lady said, "Sir, I found these papers in your waste paper basket. Are they ready to throw away?" He looks at them, it's his presentation. Now, he looks at the cleaning lady and says, "Where did she get this? And is she a clerk or my competitor?" She's just a cleaning lady. You've seen her every day. She does nothing but clean the office. Kya pata usko? Kya pata? And then no, give it to me. He walks towards his cabin. And as he's walking in, the cleaning lady says, "Sir, wo maaf kijiye, lekin aapka jo hai na, wo galat hai." He's like, "What?" He gets upset. He says, "Kya pata isko yaar? Jaane do." He walks into his office, sits down. But you know when doubt sets in? Even if it's the cleaning lady's doubt, he reads it, he realizes there's something wrong. And on his door, there's a little rap. And from under the door, he sees these papers coming in. From outside the door, the cleaning lady says, "Sir, maine bhi kuch dekha, padh lijiye." Why would he read something of the cleaning lady? But doubt aa gaya na, to padhna padega. So he reads it, and you know what he realizes? She's right. So what's actually happening? AI is happening. That's what happens. Who was he? How did he come to his presentation? He went to Harvard, he went to Princeton. He lived in the world and the economy that just passed away, it's dying. He took it to McKinsey's, paid a few $1 million to McKinsey's, to all the financial experts in the world, and they had gone to Princeton, they were chartered accountants, they had done Harvard, and they had given this presentation. The cleaning lady's head was completely clean of that. She wasn't packed with education. She wasn't packed with yesterday. She learned the didn't give much attention. She prompted with AI and came up with the solutions. And because she was new to it, she was better. So my contention is, because we are structured in our society, in all organizations, as a pyramid, CEO and bottom. Now if the cleaning lady, because it's all about ability, the ability that the CEO has, and I'll come to you what both of them have in common, is always surpassed by AI. And so the pyramid will fall and it'll come flat. In the flat pyramid, how do we deal with society anymore? Forget creativity. How do we deal with society? Who is the boss? Who's the cleaning lady? Well, both of them share the same ability. So what's ability? That's what you just said. Ability is intuition, right? So how, this is going to be a major problem worldwide in every place that we keep. What is intuition? We've forgotten intuitivity. We've gone on to education, we've gone on to ye bada, ye chota, well, that's all going in a flat pyramid. So I don't know, but I can tell you where I'm getting my inspiration from. Do you know these things called the murmurings of the sparrows? We've all seen them, 1,000 birds moving, some like this, some like that, and then suddenly they all move. And when they all move in a group, well, pata nahi chalta hai. Which bird made the choice? Which bird, which sparrow was the leader, which sparrow was the follower? None. And if it's none, we're talking about a flat pyramid. We're talking about the world of AI. So the only thing that holds everybody together is intuitivity. And words that we have lost. Trust, love, compassion, intuition. In the world of AI, if we forget that AI is not just a way, I was in some very big, and they were talking about, AI is going to help us deal and understand our consumers. Then I quoted a thing, 40 and rising, 50% of the people in the UK that buy anything are not making the decision themselves. They're making it through their AI. So it's your AI talking to their AI, so how do you even know your customer? You know, you don't. So forget all that. This is a new word that we've all got to use, the consumer. AI is not just a way to make yourself more efficient. It's a turmoil. It's going to change society for me in a much better way. It's going to make the pyramid flat. It's going to rise from the bottom because that's where it's needed. The CEOs don't need AI. You're fine. The bottom of the pyramid, they need it. And because they need it, they will apply their own whole soul and their creativity to it. And their ability is not just the ability. Ability is also passion. Passion is also need. Passion is also what you're desperate for. You tell her the bottom of the pyramid is desperate to ride down, bringing bricks to a better stop. But AI is going to create a completely different society over time.
So many more 20-year-old chartered accountants likely to be filmmakers because of AI?
No, I'm saying that I'm already starting my next production is going to be AI films. I am now starting. I'm like the CEO of film, right? As a director, I'm becoming CEO. But Rahman and we've been running a music school in Dharavi for the kids, some for hip hop. That Universal joined us, which was good. I am now starting an AI film school for 11, 12-year-old some kids and teach them the art of prompting, right? And they will be on their computers and make that. One kid is going to make the next avatar sitting in a slum in India because he can make it at 1,000th of the cost that they can make it in Hollywood. So suddenly filmmaking becomes a hugely democratic appearance. I was just showing somebody here. I showed them just like images that would have taken months to create. The animation of filmmaking, they were done in 2 nights, overnight. So yeah, it's going to be a big problem for me if I don't adapt to AI filmmaking.
So Aparna, if I come back to something, you spoke about responsible AI. And I think you were coming at it from a slightly different perspective, working less with Gen AI, more with other kinds of artificial intelligence. So could you speak a bit about the problems that you see with the ethics of AI, specifically perhaps with privacy since you work in the financial services industry?
So it's a very good question because the data is everywhere today And so we see in all digital channels, including Aadhaar data. And that becomes a real big issue, particularly for the financial institutions, because customer is actually giving their own data to the bank as a custodian, right, to the financial institutions. They don't own the data. The data belongs to the customer. But it is their ownership that they have to protect that data in whatever way and form, and in turn have that privacy of the customer data to be remaining. And for that purpose, regulators have now come up with lot of very, very stringent laws. We have seen the DPDP Act, right? The Digital Customer Protection Data. We have seen GDPR. GDPR was long back there from the UK, Europe. So if you look at it today, it has become so much important to have not just the data protected, but also to protect the identity and privacy of the customer with secrecy. Because you have everything today available to get that data of the customer across from anywhere and everywhere. So now, from a technology perspective, there is a homomorphic encryption, a way. There is a method in which, even if your data is available, the institution which is using it, they cannot see your raw data. So for example, Aparna Kumar, now Aparna Kumar is a raw data, but there will be something like ABCD 1, 2, 3, and everything will happen with that ABCD 1, 2, 3. So what is happening is, you are trying to get the customer details, demographics. You are also getting all other information without actually knowing that it is about whom. And then you churn out that data, come up with a set of data which is going to then tell you what are the customer needs. So you predict. But you don't lose the identity of the customer because it is protected. So the technology is actually moving forward by coming up with these more technical nuances and solutions which are going to protect the data. Because you under whatever circumstances, that we are seeing a lot of cyber frauds and all. So AI is also trying to assist into having a real-time detection of the fraud which is happening. It's a huge number. The frauds are like running in thousands of crores, right? So AI is assisting in that. But on the other hand, to protect the raw data of the customer, technology layer is getting better. And that is where the data is getting encrypted. But you can still use the data of Aparna Kumar or people like Aparna Kumar and come up with what customer needs are, so that you are able to then service them more. So it's both ways. You also have to protect and you also have to improve the customer experience. Also their needs, you predict their needs and you serve them better. So that's how the institutions are trying to, take care of the privacy of the customer data. It's not easy because we have come a long way. The data was exposed, everything was available very easily. But I think those methods and these laws are actually helping along with the technology to protect. So that's what we're doing. Institutions are doing.
Sure, thanks. Suraj, you said AI has made your jobs a lot easier, a lot quicker. But something that I think as an ad professional, you're really focused on creating value for your clients, for consumers. How do you train people who are coming into the profession?
Creative industry, there's no playbook. There's no one particular discipline you can study and be successful in the creative business. It's so multidisciplinary in nature, not today, every time. Whether sociology, anthropology, quantum physics, name one subject. For instance, when I was a kid, my father asked me which subject you're very good at. I said all. He was very disappointed. And then that skill of being able to connect different dots it's something we are realizing is working with young people, so we look for them. Just before the conversation, we were talking about what kind of people we like to hire. We like to hire people who are not coming from their degrees and diploma. They're coming from life. When they come from life, there are stories of life, there are stories of materialism, there are stories of achievements, stories of adversity. I think those people are able to connect different things, because in our business, we are actually using art to connect brands and people. It's a very tricky one. Where do you make sure that these dots connect? Depends on the diverse understanding young people have. And we are training a lot on them. For instance, we are no more having conversation on what kind of idea. We are having more conversation on what your passion points are. Just to give you another real example, what we did in our company when I was there, we asked everybody what brings you to life, not work. For instance, my Delhi head said music. He was part of a band, music band. So in his designation, it was Nikhil Mahajan, music lover. So I feel that increasingly we'll have to look at different ways of identifying and training people to connect dots and be interested in how to look at something which you've never thought about.
So do you think there's a role for that in professional education?
100%, there is a role for it, because we are experimenting. It's a social experiment going on today with everything Shekhar was saying. Nobody knows. If, like he said, CEO or the trainee, nobody knows. And that sense of not knowing, when you're in the dark, there's no CEO. Everybody is CEO, right? And the one with the torch, or one with the sense of light. And that light can probably need some academic intervention. Because we need to create such people. For instance, I was telling Jaya that why does MICA certificate stay valid forever? Should it have expiry date? You know, radical ideas like this we'll have to start thinking, and maybe academic institutions are better suited to get that research, get that understanding.
So, one of the large multinational companies, the principle that they follow is every day you retire, and the next day is day one for you. And they conduct a big time management trainings for senior executives, because none of us do that, let me be very honest, right? And they actually have a 3-day program which they go out and they actually train the corporates which is outside their realm to make them understand that what it means when every day it is a day one for you. And that's a challenge.
Please.
Privacy. It's a very Western concept. Privacy. गाँव जाओ, रहो वहाँ. Where's privacy? Joint family में किसकी privacy होती है? We get engulfed by the West because Indian education was not linear. Now the Western education is linear, so privacy, data is the new oil. I've been hearing this for 10 years. I used to say, realize what is data? What is a consumer? AI is going to ask you that. I don't care. I mean, I go and buy. What's privacy? अरे यार करण जौहर जाता है बाहर वो अरमानी खरीदता है और सामने लिखा होता है अरमानी. Privacy का. We are not private people. 80% of India does not have privacy. That's why there is a reason that ChatGPT. We are already ChatGPT's second largest market in the world because we don't have these issues. We have issues of eating. We have issues of housing. We have this. In that, we have to see what is my privacy. Where does privacy come? It's not data. What's my data? ले लो क्या चाहिए? कोई गांव में जाओ भाई डेटा क्या तेरा क्या छुपाएं? सब देखो कुर्ते में पड़ा हुआ है. That's 80% of India. Let's understand we are not products of the West. We are not products, and big corporations are not going to last. Just forget it. It's gone. That area is gone. Now, what was your next question? What was your question? Yeah. Am I worried about?
No, I'm asking if you say that 80% of content is going to be made by AI, delivered by AI.
Yeah.
If you are a young aspiring artist today, what do you need to do? What sort of skills do you need to develop? How do you approach?
They're being creative, right? So, and the crayon is technology. Camera, when I use the camera, जो आप लोग camera use कर रहे हैं, look inside it. It's a data gathering device. It's technology. ऐसा कुछ नहीं आप इधर उधर कर रहे हैं वो बाकी ठीक है अंदर तो data gathering device है. So we wanted, do you remember, you're much younger than me, do you remember कि जब इंडिया में ट्रैक्टर आ रहा था तो सारी इंडिया खड़ी हो गई थी कि यार वो तो किसान का क्या होगा, ट्रैक्टर आ गया तो अभी तो प्रोडक्टिविटी किसान तो गए, किसान तो नहीं गए, किसान ने ट्रैक्टर सीख लिया, है ना? We get adapted to new technology. I love it. I'll tell you another story. मिस्टर इंडिया किसने नहीं देखी बताओ? सबने देखी है, right? Constantly everybody is talking about Mr. 2, Mr. India 2, Mr. India 2, Mr. India 2, Mr. India 2. मैंने कहा यार मैं नहीं डायरेक्ट कर सकता, किसी और को बोलो डायरेक्ट करते, लेकिन I'll help you write Mr. India 2. दूसरी कहानी बहुत very big writers came, took a lot of money, not from me thankfully, but एक दिन मेरा एक है वो guy books of सर मैंने भी Mr. India 2 की कहानी लिखी है, ये 6 महीने पहले की बात है. तो मैंने कहा अच्छा या तो खाना ठीक ना खाऊं या उसकी कहानी पढ़ लूं, कहानी पढ़ी. And I said, "Hey, Nilesh, ये कहानी कैसे लाए?" तो कहानी की सर वो आपके कंप्यूटर पे चैट जीपीटी पे. तो yes, of course, technology is changing, but my cook now is a writer. Should I deny him that? Now he's given it. Nilesh तो है यहाँ कहीं. अगर है तो आ जाओ, खड़ा है बाहर वो शर्माता है. तुम इसको पता है ये कहानी सुनाओगे तो उसको बुला दूंगा बस. So why would I stand against something in art that is becoming so democratic? But then the argument also is creativity different from me getting up in the morning and doing something? Is creativity different from the way I live my life? Is creativity different from my philosophy? So when you say school of creativity, it's a school of everything. It's a school of not knowing. So why would technology interfere? I love it. I love the fact that my daughter can sit down and say, yeah, that's an interesting song. Where did you get it? Yeah, of course. But it is such a vast unknown creativity that how can technology even... मैं आज बात करता हूँ आपसे, मैं कहता हूँ, अच्छा ये क्या है? You talked about quantum physics. I'll ask you something. Can anybody answer me कि जो वो cave number 16 बना वो शिवा के एलोरा में क्या था उनके पास? हैमर और चिसल? कैसे बना दिया? किसी नाक थोड़ी सी कट जाए गलती से तो क्या दोबारा पूरा कोई और मत फिट होने नहीं? क्या था उनके पास? Some kind of quantum technology. We haven't even reached that yet because we are too Western in our linear thinking. Corporations have become too Western, management has become too Western. We have to go back to the idea of a kind of quantum. We have quantum thinkers. Mahabharata, there's a quantum technology, quantum storytelling. You can go on adding to it. Bring in a lot of or AI down, or add kar do. We're not scared of AI. We look forward to it. I love the fact that little kids can have the technology and create things. If I'm retire ho jaunga, to retire ho jaunga. I'm refusing to retire, so I'm making films in AI. We just adapt, yeah, right? Okay, sorry. I'm passionate I am about it.
I'm going to come to Suraj now. Suraj, one of your former competitor agencies, WPP, they have a chief AI officer. And he said at some point that companies should look at AI agents like intoxicated graduates. Do you agree with that? And, okay, they'll be sobered up and put to use.
I know about intoxication, but I don't know the statement which you're talking about. I feel the fallacy of using AI officer itself is, at least for me, doesn't go. Because it's a bit like oxygen, right? Do you make oxygen officer or CEO oxygen? To me, AI or data or any of these today or Wi-Fi, they're oxygen. They're there for everybody and everybody is plugging into it. So I feel somewhere there is this very interesting incident where one of my writer who is no more in the agency but is just freelance for tech companies. I said that the tech company, big tech companies have asked him to just go through the copy and make it more human. Because they have, of course, kind of used ChatGPT, right? Now, that's the problematic area, which is somewhere are we being deluded that speed is all we need? And I think that's when you start getting into the whole idea of losing the idea that AI is a tool. How many of us had imaginary friend when we were growing up? I had. I used to talk to my imaginary friend all the time, and my mother was like, "Who are you talking to?" I said, "My friend." I thought, I'm really mad. But I always had that friend. I even have that friend today. But today, I actually have that friend whom I can talk to. To me, AI is a bit like that, and each one of us have that. You know? So I feel that creative agencies, particularly or creative business, if using AI as a department or an officer or a tool or designation, they won't suffer. They won't be intoxicated. You've got to be hallucinating with that imaginary friend to create something wacky, create something which people have not seen. I just want to add another thing to point of Shekhar, you know. The thing about democratization, right? Today everybody has an opinion. Because everybody can post as many different identities on the platforms. Today everybody has data. Data is not a competitive advantage anymore. We are giving it at the security gates of all the gated complexes, right? How is this helping us? How are we getting better? Are brands getting better at connecting with consumers? Why is the Spanish holiday chasing me for the last 4 days on my post? So I'm a bit little skeptical about democratization equal to something which we actually benefit from. And I've always said this in the other session which I had at my time. I said, are we questioning what kind of society we want to build? What kind of civilization we want to build? What kind of business we want to build? And these are amazing tools to use that. There's a one.
Thank you. Yes. Shekhar, you want to respond to that?
I have a question of the audience. Can I do that? Anybody raise their hands if they've never been in love? Raise your hand. Then how are you scared of AI? Do you think AI can love? No, you don't know. But we were taught, she loves me not, she loves me, she loves me not, she loves me, she loves me not, right? If you have AI, you say, she loves me, she loves me, she loves me, she loves me, she loves me. Why would you fall in love? It is the essential idea of being human is uncertain. अगर कल को आप बता दिए कल परसों ऐसे ही होगा तो why would you live? If you knew exactly that she loves me, she loves me, she loves me, why would you fall in love? We survive because life is uncertain. We survive because of uncertainty, and we spend our lives trying to find certainty. That's the conflict of life, right? आगे जाकर क्या है? वो उसके आगे चलता. Can I tell you a story? Give me 1 second. So, मैं लंदन में ट्रेनिंग कर रहा था. I brought my cook. TV पे चल रहा था वो the anniversary of man's landing on the moon. So I'm Suresh, take, man is landing on the moon. He looked at him, sir. Laughed. I said, क्यों सर? सर आप तो फिल्म में कर रहे हैं तो विजुअल इफेक्ट है. हम तो चांद को पूछते हैं, आपने चांद पे कैसे रहा? So I took him to the Science Museum, मैंने उसको पूरा दिखाया. वहाँ वो स्पेस पर आपने सब कुछ है. वापस आ बड़ा impressed लग रहा था सुरेश. I thought I'd won. So I said, सुरेश आदमी चांद पे गया था. He smiled. He said, हाँ सच आपके चांद पे गया था, मेरे चांद पे नहीं. That's the concept of like that. Is the greatest. The greatest lesson I've ever learned on quantum physics is what my cook told me. So, आपका चांद दूसरा है, मेरा चांद दूसरा है. The universe exists in how we imagine it too. आप पूरे quantum physics पढ़ो, वो कहेंगे, वो research पढ़ लो, वो ही कहेंगे. इसमें AI कहाँ पे है? क्योंकि it's a mystery. और because it's mystery, the storytelling में mystery है, story कैसे बताएंगे? Art में mystery अगर पिकासो आप देखो उसमें mystery नहीं होगी तो art कैसे बनेगा? So the one way to understand AI is to understand what it cannot do, what is not human about it, and then we define it.
Thank you. Since I think we're running out of time, I just have a final question for each of our panelists. Aparna, maybe I'd like you all to just share with our audience, some of maybe the most unusual or wacky new uses that you have found for AI, which you could maybe share with people. It could be a tip, or it could be a story of failure.
Definitely. I use, because I write a lot of articles in LinkedIn, so I definitely use AI to do a lot of research. Intuitively think or visualize or have a vision or purpose. I have that. So I go ahead and give that purpose to it in terms of telling me that now tell me what it is.
AI more now to show I'm better. I put all my scripts into AI, it comes up with solutions and I just laugh because AI is not human. But is it a great tool? Of course it is. It's fantastic. But it's never got my schedule right. People still have to call me at 12 baje, aap kyun nahi aaye? And I go back to my, I say, kya hua? And then, you know, and I put it in two of them. I use Google AI and I also use ChatGPT. Both of them get my schedule wrong. So it's got a long way to go, but it's such an exciting tool. But it's work, it's a social tool, it's fantastic that way. But I test my ability to be unpredictable with AI. As long as I'm unpredictable, I'm creative. If I'm predictable, I'll go home and be a chartered accountant again. Sorry. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shekhar, Aparna, and Suraj. It's been a pleasure, all of you. Thank you.
Please keep sitting. Please keep sitting. We've got a little more to put. Because we heard views, diverse, deep, converging, and indicating multiple ways in which imagination and creativity will deliver values. We heard process, and we heard defy the process. But the common thing that ran was that there has to be a value that has to be created at the end of it. And what that value is of consequence. So thank you so much, Malika, for doing this for us. Completely honored. Thank you, everybody. But before we conclude, on behalf of the entire MICA fraternity, I'd like to extend a memento to each one of you on the dais here. So to start with, Ms. Jaya Deshmukh to offer a memento to Shekhar Kapur, and we'll all clap loud. Thank you.
What does value mean in the term of AI? Describe value somebody.
Value?
What does that mean?
That
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
NVIDIA today is a $4 trillion company. Let me finish. I was a chartered accountant, many of you are accountants. We were told at that time that if you really like a company, the PE ratio should be 4, 5, 6, 7. It's almost 1,000 times.
Yes.
So what does that value mean? It's a myth. It's a story. All value is a story, right?
And I'll just one little bit, that value could all be value of happiness. And that's what we're saying. Addition, story.
To find happiness.
We do that together. Thank you.
Yeah,
Looking forward
okay.
to a lot
Thank
from you.
Right.
Thank you. I request MICA Dean and Principal, Dr. Geeta Hegde. Thank you. Dr. Indraneel Banerjee, Head External Affairs and Growth at MICA, to offer the memento to Malika. And finally, me, Ruch Tiwari, Faculty and CMO at MICA. I have the privilege of offering a memento to Suraj. Thank you, everybody. You were a great audience, but it's not over. Thank you, everybody. We should soon get into the heart of today's event. That's the meat. The much-awaited announcements. I'll request Director and CEO Jaya to please come up, and now she takes charge. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Maybe Suraj, you can be here. Of course. So sorry.
हाँ बोलिए अच्छा बाद में कॉल कर हम शूटिंग कर बैठ जाओ मोबाइल मैम सामने मोबाइल
Shekhar, you're back on stage. Yes, please. And Ram, may I request you to please join us? Thank you so much. So hello everyone, thank you all for coming. Let me begin by welcoming the chairperson of the MICA Foundation, Mrs. Tina Ambani. Thank you for making time from your busy schedule. We really appreciate this and thank you for supporting us, as you always have. A very warm welcome to Mr. Ramkumar Ramamurthy. He's the member of our MICA's Governing Council. He's partner at Catalinks and former CMD of Cognizant India. And Mr. Shekhar Kapur, who all of you already know, so I don't need to introduce you. He's known for his creative genius. And, lately, for the past few years, an AI philosopher, which has been an interesting turn of events. And I'm Jaya Deshmukh, I'm the director and CEO of MICA, but I like to introduce myself as who I really am, which is I am from the first batch of MICA, and I'm really proud of being a MICAN. So thank you so much for being here. I also extend a warm welcome, I know Ruchi did this, to Aparna, Suraj and Malika, distinguished guests. Malika is also a fellow MICAN, so there are quite a few fellow MICANs here in the audience supporting us, so thank you so much for coming over. This is truly a landmark day in the 34-year history of MICA. And before I begin my opening remarks, I wanted to extend my congratulations to the foundation, foundation trustees, foundation representatives, president of MICA's Governing Council, MICA's Governing Council members, over 100 plus faculty that work in MICA, that teach at MICA, over 250 recruiters who recruit from MICA, over 4,000 alum, yes, that's how many MICAns are out there, scholars, current students and staff. We are here today due to your contributions and your love for MICA, so big congratulations to all of you. So MICA was set up in 1991 as a school for marketing, advertising and communication, a different school of thought, and it encouraged out-of-the-box thinking amongst its students. So when I was a student there, our tagline was "the language begins here," and we were taught by stalwarts, right? And our foundation, and some of us are from the early batches of MICA, was to be a rebel, to go against the norm, to have our voice heard. So we were different right from the start. And foundational to MICA is the belief that storytelling matters. And probably the one thing that our professors constantly told us, that it's great to have a brilliant idea, but without a brilliant expression and execution, it is pointless. So what happens at MICA is that when you come there and you land there, it's bubbling with joy, ideas, creativity, different kind of thinking, and then you'll see, a lot of us sitting down and saying, how do we make this real? So over the years, MICA has shaped into a name to reckon with in marketing, communications, creativity, strategy, product management, and more recently into this whole digital space. Over the past 10 years, a lot of us are working in those areas. Now we've managed to do this because we've got a very rigorous admissions process, and someday I'd love to share what we do, because what we test for is not just analytical ability, we test for critical thinking, but what really differentiates us is, can we think out of the box? The thing that Shekhar talked about, uncertainty, ambiguity, can we untether ourselves from the past? So our admissions process actually tests for that. And apart from that, we build spaces and resources to experiment. So a lot of experimentation happens at MICA. We create strong partnerships and collaborations with the industry. A lot of what is taught at MICA is theory and applications, and the applications come straight from industry. That's why we've got Suraj here. He's an example of a lot of industry inputs into our curriculum and pedagogy. And this has resulted in a year-on-year track record of amazing placements, 100% most of the time, rising percentages of pre-placement offers, steady increase in average salaries, and of course, rankings matter. I know the pyramid is getting flat, but we still have to deal with some operational things such as NIRF rankings. So amongst all private management institutes, we now rank number 8 all India. Our postgraduate programs, our FPM programs, our MBA and PhD equivalent, given to us by AICTE and EIU and NBA. So, we've been working really hard. But at MICA, we don't rest on our past laurels, and you'll see that, when we're doing really well, we want to go and innovate, we want to do something different. And so we spent all of last year taking some time to craft the strategy for the next 5 years. Well, the roadmap is ready and we are ready to go. So what we did was to commission, being a good school, and we wanted information and data. Right? So we commissioned a big study, comprehensive, and I'm a bit scared to use the word, but we did do that, to understand how corporates, recruiters, alum, peer faculty, so faculty from peer institutes, how do they look at MICA and MICANs? And it was very interesting. So that they said that across all institutes, and yes, we did benchmark ourselves with the IIS and ISB as well, across all institutes, MICA and MICANs rate number 1 when it comes to dealing with ambiguity. And I think that is such a crucial differentiator. We are number 1 when it comes to innovativeness, to being authentic, having empathy, right? And of course being creative. And we're also customer-centric, but Shekhar said we should think about the customer. So again, I want to talk about that. So in this whole thing, where we stand out for our bravery and our modern approach, so we have been thinking, what are these vital skills necessary as the world transforms due to AI, robotics, quantum computing, synthetic biology? What do we need to do? And our claim, or our goal, is to claim a full and legit stake to become a national and global leader in what we are strong in, which is in this new way of doing things, and integrating everything that we do with creativity. So we took a stance and completely revamped our curriculum, our pedagogy, our research, and our institutional systems. And I personally believe that the future belongs to those who will break the system that they currently exist in and who will look for something new. And we've never shied away, as an institution, as MICA, we've never shied away from embracing new challenges, and that is exactly what an educational institution should do. We should be breaking boundaries, pushing boundaries. So, with that preamble, I'd like to thank you very much for coming and participating in MICA celebration. I would like to invite our chairperson of the MICA Foundation, Mrs. Ambani, to make a few announcements about our future.
Hello everybody. Mr. Shekhar Kapur, Mrs. Aparna Kumar, Mrs. Malika Rodriguez, Mr. Surja Kishore, Mr. Ram Kumar Ramurthy, Jaya, and my team at MICA, friends from the media, and distinguished guests. A very good afternoon to all of you. I am delighted to be here today with all of you to share another milestone in the evolution of MICA. This fine institution was established 3 decades ago, as Jaya just mentioned, to nurture creative leaders, to operate at the intersection of marketing, culture, and communication. Creativity, when thoughtfully applied, is not merely an aesthetic pursuit, but a powerful economic force. True creativity is not just born of intelligence, but of imagination. And when our imagination knows no bounds, the impossible becomes infinitely possible. Harnessing the power of artificial intelligence can further fuel this imagination. The world is changing, and so must education. This changing new order demands radical shifts in the way we develop leaders and thinkers of the future. Thus, always ahead of the curve, MICA has taken an ambitious step of setting up a new school within its umbrella. It gives me immense pleasure and pride to announce the launch of the school, School of Applied Creativity at MICA. This school is not about creativity as an art alone. It is about creativity as a strategy, as a competitive advantage, as an enterprise. It is about applying imagination to real-world problems and turning bold ideas into purposeful business values. Starting from the academic year 2026, we will offer a postgraduate program in media courses, content, and entertainment. And then, of course, courses in applied creativity and innovation and creative and cultural industries. These postgraduate and doctoral level programs, these are postgraduate and doctoral level programs to cater the need of the country, the growing demand from the industry. We shall also be offering master classes and certification courses immediately. Friends, it is a singular honor and privilege for me to welcome Mr. Shekhar Kapur, my dear friend and old colleague. We come from the same fraternity. Of course, he was a CA before he came into the industry. But we both belong to the Anand family, if I can put it, in a very holistic way, that I was introduced by Devanand and he's Devanand's nephew. So we have something in common there. So I'm really happy and feel very privileged to invite him here. He's a globally recognized creative genius and an AI philosopher, I believe, as the chief mentor of the school. And I'm really happy to have him on board. Thank you, Shekhar, for coming on board. We now embark on an incredible new chapter in our journey. From a school of communication and marketing to a global center for creativity-led leadership, future making and human AI symbiosis, a place that ignites imagination. Indeed, imagination is the strategic currency of the future. And I truly believe tomorrow belongs to those who can imagine with capability, courage, and creativity. Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. It's a subject that's not so well versed with, I'm not so well versed with, but I'm happy to be here and meet you guys. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now would like to invite Mr. Ramkumar Ramamurthy to make our next level of announcements. As you're aware, this whole conversation around AI requires something deeper and more meaningful. And so to make these announcements, Ram.
Thank you, Jaya, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. As a proud member of the MICA Governing Council, it's both a privilege and an honor to be with you at this transformative phase during the 34-year journey of MICA. For over 3 decades, as Jaya just mentioned, MICA has evolved with the changing times and has demonstrated leadership through creativity, communication, and innovation. Today, with the newer digital technologies, especially artificial intelligence, changing both the what and the how of business, government, society, and education, MICA is responding both with conviction and clarity. We recognize that there is this structural shift that's driving the reimagination of everything. You saw that discussed in the panel a few minutes back. And we are taking steps to embrace these changes and make it a part of the Mica DNA. I've said often that all of us need to ask this question. If I were to do this all over again, how would I do it? To be stuck in the past is not the answer for the future. So this academic year, we have implemented a comprehensive curriculum redesign with AI and its applications at the core of every course spanning products, customers and brands, while appreciating the fact that in some cases, customers or consumers could be bots and humanoids. Each course is anchored on 4 pillars: the fundamentals, the real-world applications, the tools and platforms, and finally, the evolving influence of AI on that discipline and where relevant at the intersection of disciplines. The one thing that we are acutely aware of is innovation today is happening across disciplines at the interstitial nodes, not within those individual disciplines. We have rolled out an all-faculty upskilling program on AI to empower them with the latest pedagogy, tools and models, and immersive learning experiences. We are also initiating international research collaborations to advance global knowledge exchange for creating India-specific models and frameworks aligning with our commitment to the India AI mission. With that, let me announce the formation of the Mica AI Advisory Board, a very diverse, eclectic, highly accomplished panel for the Cloud Computing Innovation Council of India, and was also an expert advisor to the Prime Minister of India on public information infrastructure. In fact, Suhan is in the audience. Suhan, if you could probably get up. Thanks, Suhan, for being a part of this advisory panel. And I'm also part of this AI advisory panel. So this is a panel that will serve for an initial period of 3 years and will act as a strategic partner.
Here, like how animated were we, isn't it? So it was a very interesting, set of people, very committed, loving, and wanting to contribute to India, wanting to contribute to Mica. So I'm really grateful for them agreeing to join. I needed to add one small quote from Ganga. As you know, she is a part of our governing council, but she's also on our AI advisory committee. So I'm going to quote her. So Ganga says, as a proud Mica alum, she is also from, I think the second, 2 batches junior to me, and now member of our governing council, who's seen the AdWorld meet B2B Tech Head-Won. I couldn't be prouder of our ambition with the newly constituted AI board. The Institute's vision goes beyond tech. It's about cementing Mica's legacy as the go-to place for strategic marketing, big ideas, and pure creativity. We are not just preparing our students and industry for the future, we are giving them the know-how.
You got to risk it?
A little bit. Right. Thank you so much.
Jaya, you're a brave woman. Okay, Tina, thanks a lot. Thanks for this opportunity. We've known each other for
It's all our pleasure. We're going to squeeze you though.
that's fine. Squeeze me, you'll get more. I'm not sure what you'll get, but you'll get something. Let's just start with why AI. You said that. AI is the new part of the world. It's what's going to drive the world. We know that. There's enough being said about that. And currently, there are 3 nations that are standing ahead, with third, unfortunately, probably China, then the US, and then India. We could come out in front. We can come, so this is more a natural perspective, then I'll come back to creativity. We could come up in front, provided we all put our show, push it, and not be so afraid of it. There's no reason to be afraid of it. The only thing to be afraid of AI is that the world will go ahead and we won't catch up. The time is now. AI, the people, really, Sam Altman and all my other friends there, they keep talking about $1 trillion. It's only there to scare us. If we could put a rover on Mars at less than the cost that Hollywood can make a film, We could go into those large language models. The LLMs are not as scary as they put it out. They just, $100 trillion India can't have, but $1 trillion dalna hi nahi padega. We are innovative enough. And you know what will help us to be innovative enough? AI itself, right? So the importance of AI is there. I mean, I'm on the board of Waves, and we're pushing AI. I run the Goa Film Festival. I'm starting an AI film part of it too. I think the best way to understand AI is to see what AI is not, because everybody says it's everything. When I was a kid, lived in Delhi, we used to go to Simla, Mussoorie, and Barsat hoti thi, so there used to be all these waterfalls. And I was like 13, 14, and my mother used to hate me doing that. I used to run down the waterfall, jump from one boulder to another boulder to another boulder. And, the first 2, 3 boulders are easy because you can jump to it, you can see it. But once you pick up momentum, you have to know which 3 boulders, 4 boulders, and you keep going. And I often wondered, because I could have fallen, slipped at any time. And then at the end of it, when I looked back and said, oh my God, I survived. I didn't die, I did it. And please somebody don't tell my mother I did this. It would go on. The question is, how did I do it? When I was doing it, when the momentum was so high, there was no way I could make a logical decision. There's no way. I can actually sit there. I wouldn't have the time because you're just jumping and jumping. We got into something called the zone. The zone was, what do we call it? It was the same as extreme sports, the extreme sports is the zone. That zone, I still call it the zone of creativity. You're getting into a zone. But I did say I was going to say what AI can't do. I did it to get into the zone. What is the zone born of? It was born of fear. Creativity is full of fear. I would not be creative if I wasn't afraid. That zone was about thrill, about the near-death experience. I was challenging life. That zone is about challenging life. And now it's true. Elon Musk can put a little chip in my brain. And it'll tell me, go there, go there, go there. You picked up, this is your speed. You go there, go there, go there. AI will absolutely make sure that there is no potential possibility of me falling. AI can absolutely make sure that there's no possibility of my dying. AI can call my mom and say, don't worry about it, I'm taking care of your son. He'll be fine, he'll be fine. Here's the question. Then why would I do it? That's the problem. Being human is about being uncertain. Being human. I said, she loves me, she loves me not, she loves me, she loves me not. If the answer is she loves me, she loves me, she loves me, she loves me, I'm not being human, there's no love. AI, being human is about being uncertain. Much as we draw big charts, we do these 5-year plans because there's certainty, and then suddenly find it's not working. And AI will make sure now that it doesn't work because everything has changed. Everything has changed. Everything will change. So everything that is uncertain, everything that is unpredictable is what makes us human. We die. That's uncertain. I might die tomorrow, I don't know. So that's what drives us. And whatever is human, what drove me down is exactly, and the reason it did is what AI can't do. So as long as we remember what it means to be human, we'll remember what AI can't do. So, now let me talk about creativity. It's very simple, very simple. I work with some of the great geniuses of the world. What is creativity? It's a big question. And when you called me here to talk about and teach creativity, I would have called it unlearn, learn, unlearn, learn, unlearn, learn. The most creative beings I've ever seen are kids. We are born creative. How can you teach creativity? What's going on with us? You watch a child and give a child crayon, and my daughter used to cut up all the curtains in patterns. We are born incredibly creative people, and somewhere our education system has taught us not to be creative. And where did this education system come from? Actually, we came into what we call, the old gurukuls weren't like that. We've developed a linear form of education system that actually came from the West. It really helped us, yes, but it's time to let that go. It's time to let that education system go and come into what I call quantum education. I must say, Shekhar is using a big word. Quantum education is about very bad, that's nothing. Mahabharata is quantum storytelling. Mahabharata is going linear, yeah, then the story moves around, comes back, something else happens, then moves around, comes back, something else happens. It's unpredictable. You can add things and take out things and then you'll come back to the same thing. I think I mentioned cave 16, right? The Shiva cave. How did I do it? Right? And why am I saying this? I'm saying this because as a culture, we're quantum thinkers. सीधा तो कोई सोचता ही नहीं यार, है ना? कौन ऐसे कहता है? Everybody's thinking, अरे क्या बात कर रहा है मुझे समझ नहीं आ रही, ये क्या बात कर रहा है मुझे समझ क्या कर रहा है मुझे समझ में आ रही, कुछ बात कर रहा है. That's creativity. The unpredictability of conversation is creative. So, however much we teaching creativity is about teaching to be unpredictable. How can I teach you to be unpredictable? Well, you can by letting you free. Teaching of creativity is the teaching of the freedom of the mind. That's what's amazing. And that's why India has this great opportunity, because as quantum thinkers, quantum thought, as being unpredictable as we are, kya baat kar raha hai, kaise baat kar raha hai. I have a big friend who's doing really well, he's formed a huge company in the US. And when I talked to his investors, he said, we don't know what he's saying, yes or no, he keeps doing this. Right? That's unpredictability. That's very, very creative. So let's just imagine the school being creative. Question is, where does creativity come from? Raise anybody in this room that knows where creativity comes from. Oh, come on, let's be brave. I'm not going to put you on the dot. One person who can say, I know where creativity comes from. I just wrote on my LinkedIn today that actually it comes not from the brain, it comes from the heart. And a lot of neuroscientists disagree with me, but that's, I believe. But if I don't know where creativity comes from, how can I teach it? Problem, right? How do you teach it? I can teach it by teaching you everything that creativity is not. The only way you can teach creativity is to teach you to find yourself. Yeah, what Sadhguru bhi kehte hain na, find yourself, but he's right. Creativity comes from the idea of not knowing. The unpredictability in not knowing. How do I teach you not to know? Because anybody sitting in the room probably has gone through years and years of being told that you have to know, you have to know, you have to know, and suddenly guys come in and say, let me teach you not to know. There's a large part of creativity, and therefore the teaching of creativity to me is to help you let go of everything that you are. Because everything that you are has been accumulated and accumulated upon you, and then you defined yourself. By defining yourself, what you've done is confined yourself. So you have to let go of the idea of defining yourself. You have to let go of the idea of music, ye hota hai. तो आप कहेंगे यार ये क्लासिकल सिंगर्स ना गाते हैं पूरी जिंदगी एक ही राग गाते हैं है ना to becoming perfect राग तो वही है गाते रहते हैं सालों साल what are they trying to do? What are these classical musicians trying to do? They're not trying to define the rag. They are trying to become the rag. That's where true creativity lies. When I become my story that I tell, in Bandit Queen, I was a rapist and the raped both. I have to be, otherwise I can't tell a story. So the final, ultimate idea of creativity is to become the creativity, not the creator. But what you create and you become the same thing. If we can teach you to do that, you're all geniuses. That's where we belong. Right? So I'm going to let that go. I think I've probably done 10 minutes. I'll take any questions. I don't promise I can have the answers, but I can tell you what the answer is not. Okay. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Before we get into Q&A, I just wanted to give a quick backstory, literally 30 seconds. So it was in May that I wrote a text message to Mr. Ambani ma'am, and I said, there's this idea, we've said this in the entire course of developing the strategy with the governing council, with the faculty, with the alumni, because we did a lot of that in 24-25, that we want to do this school, okay, for applied creativity.
Mobile. सामने से हट जाइए थोड़ा कैमरे के लिए।
हेलो मोबाइल प्लीज।
बैठ जाओ भाई। मोबाइल बैठो बैठो। फोटो ही खत्म हो गया क्या कर
क्या नहीं होगा थॉट आइडिया थॉट आइडिया क्रिएटिव हो गया ना। स्कूल ऑफ आइडिया स्कूल ऑफ क्रिएटिविटी एक चीज हो गई। बच्चों को आइडिया आता है तो आइडिया आप एक्सप्रेस करते हो। हमारा काम ये है कि आपको जो आइडिया आए उसको एक्सप्रेस करो। जब आइडिया को एक्सप्रेस करते हो तो क्रिएटिविटी हो जाता है। आइडिया इज एक्चुअली बेटर नेम फॉर क्रिएटिविटी। ओके थैंक
Any? Ji, yes please. This is my turn. Jim, you'd like to add to it?
I'll add one more thing. जब मैंने ये position accept की तो I did mention to my husband that you want me to do this, but मेरे में इन चीजों के लिए कोई समझ नहीं है. I have never done this work before, and he said, no, you start, you can get the best people, and then I realized कि एक दिन my father-in-law had said to me when I was going to start some work in Ahmedabad in our textile division, and he said, you know, you've got very good taste, you should learn to go and design and things like that over there. And I said, I've never done it, Papa. And he said, you know what, you have to work with the best professionals, hire the best professionals, and you will be able to get to where you want to be. So I think it's very important that people are well versed with the subject, run the subject, and do what they have to do.
Geeta, Jay भी recording. Yeah.
So आपने जो क्वेश्चन पूछा वो बराबर है. मराठीत बोलू का? That is better. तर आपल्याला असं वाटतं की AI येईल सोसायटीमध्ये काय होईल, सोसायटी डिस्टर्ब होईल का, आपल्याला जे वाटतं आपल्या स्वतःच्या बद्दल ते काहीतरी बदलेल का, पण असं नाहीये. ऍक्च्युअली काय होईल की आपल्याला हा विचार करावा लागेल की आपण आहोत कोण आणि आपल्याला मजा कशी.
While you were talking, I was watching. There was outside. There's a guy who, पीछे देखिए, बब्बा देखो बेचारा पैर से जाएगा. वो अनेक वो he's laying the table as a job, right? Ask him if he enjoys his job. His answer will be no. Ask him if he wants to do a more interesting job. The answer will be yes. I was sitting with the CEO of one of the world's largest corporation. He was saying the same things. What happened to jobs? He runs Ant Corporation. तो मैंने कहा ठीक, we're sitting here for breakfast. वो एक औरत है, उसकी उम्र होगी, must be 40-45. She's cleaning, and all she's doing is waiting for us to leave so that she can finish her job. तो मैंने कहा देखो Jen, is she enjoying her job? And the answer was, of course she's not. I said, you just talked about 90% of the people that we prescribe, ये आपकी job है, ये करो. AI will relieve that. AI will let go of the person that's doing a job that they don't like and go home or something and discover what they are. They discover their own potential. So I told her, I said, Jen, your job's the problem. You should watch out for your job because they won't want to work for you anymore because you give them jobs that they don't want to do. Because it's job to करनी है ना. AI will give them more potential. I told you, my cook, he's a Nilesh तो है यहाँ, खड़ा हो जाओ. My attendant, he wrote the best thing for Mr. India too. अरे Nilesh कहाँ है? नहीं हो, भाग गया. उसको पता है मैं. I will always call him because he did do that. So everybody, every human being will now, through AI, when they have access to it, find what they are most creative at, find what they are best at. तो कब छोड़ दो ये job नहीं, वो CEOs better worry about their jobs because nobody will want to work for the job if it's a job, right? Okay, thank you.
Hi, so we have a few journalists who are witnessing this virtually throughout the country. So we have a couple of questions from them. I think many of them have already been answered. So I'll just ask a couple which which I think are still left to be, or there's more to add. So I think one question was, how is this course designed to provide career boost for students who are interested in AI? I think many ways it has been answered, but if anything, Jaya ma'am or anybody else would like to add.
Yes, I'll invite the Dean and Adler.
To add on to what you said, the thing is that what we do in the program.
मैं अपना एक्टर बनाऊंगा ना AI पे, मुझे क्या जरूरत है किसी एक्टर को दे? वो 70% तो वो ले जाएंगे, मैं क्या मैं AI से कहूँगा कि ऐसा मुझे एक बहुत अच्छा खूबसूरत एक लड़की बना दो, एक बहुत खूबसूरत लड़का बना दो, फिर मैं देखता हूँ अच्छा ये ठीक नहीं है, वो ठीक नहीं है, फिर उस फेस को यूज़ मैं AI बना दूँगा। आप में कितने? We know that 50% of all the influencers are those beautiful people. They're not real. They're AI created. So now we'll have movie stars that are AI created. आज मतलब परसों नहीं कल आ रहे हैं वो, मैं देख रहा हूँ सब कर रहे हैं. Music videos आ रहे हैं, they are AI created. अच्छा, how many people have met Tom Cruise in their life? Raise your hand. How do you know he's real? Why? Because you've seen him in movies, two-dimensional. You've seen him in, giving interviews, two-dimensional. Tom Cruise went to Wimbledon, two-dimensional. Aap to nahi the wahan. How do you know he's real? So in the world of AI, now we'll be creating my own movie stars, our own movie stars who'll go to Wimbledon, who'll go to every premiere because I can do it. I can make it very real for you. So the question is wrong now. In the future, that's how much the world is changing and is giving me the tools of creating new people. अब हम महाभारत में कहते थे ये आए कृष्ण, किसने देखा है कृष्ण? है ना, हम तो बना रहे थे ये कृष्ण है, right? Okay, sorry, I can go on with this. Thanks.
So I think thank you everyone for your questions and thanks panel for the answer that was extremely insightful. I think we've covered more and beyond what we thought we will. That's why we're getting towards the 11th month now. So I think we can wrap up and meeting all of us and maybe
Yes, thank you so much. So first, thank you media people for all the interest you showed. It was you who got this show up. Thank you ma'am. Thank you Shekhar. Thank you Ram. Thank you Jaya. Thank you Geeta. Excited. Lots of work for us. Please keep following us. Thank you. We'll head for lunch.
Yeah, I'll. Excuse me. Shekhar sir. Ma'am, I'm taking you. Yeah, Shekhar also. Yes, come.
Shekhar, come for lunch.
Yeah.
Can go from here. Your lunch.